Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the 8 o'clock webinar of today. My name is Anika. I am one of the teachers in Myes. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're having a good evening. So whenever you join, please introduce yourselves in the comment section. So I can see someone already has joined us. So please feel free to say hello, introduce yourself, tell us your name, where you're from, and which school you go to. Okay, do you go to Milan or other cities? Okay. So today's topic is called His Day, Her Day. So let's talk about the topic a little bit. So his and her are possessive pronouns. His refers to male person and her is female. Okay, his male, her is female. Okay, so we're going to talk about days, times. So basically this is the plan for today. So we're going to talk about daily routine. Daily routine is what you do every day. So simple things like brushing your teeth or waking up. So daily routine. Then we're going to talk about times and days of the week. Okay. Then we're going to talk about the third person. Hi, Manuela. Nice to see you here. You're saying that you're from Genoa. Very nice. I have been in Genoa. I love it. Okay. So, let's go ahead with the first exercise here. So throughout the webinar, so I will be explaining different things. There will be some questions. So Emanuela, feel free to answer the questions or participate whenever you want, okay? So there could be questions that you might want to write answers to. You can write as much as possible. So your comments make the webinars more fun and interactive. Okay, so let's talk about time, right? It's very important. We are going to match the clock to the time expression. So on the right, you have some clocks, digital clocks. On the left, you have some expressions. You have to match them together. Example, it's 4:30 is F. Okay, so let's try the other one. It's 7:30. Which one is it? A, B, C, D, E. What is it? It's 7:30. Then you have it's 12:15. It's 11. It's 3:45. It's 6:45. It's 10:15. It's 9. Okay, so please, whenever you can, write the answers. In the meantime, I will give you a quick explanation about time. So when you have a complete hour, you say o'clock, okay, or just the number. So for example, we started the webinar at 8, okay? So when you ask what time it is, or 7 a.m., for example, 7 a.m., 7 p.m. Okay, so what is the first time you can see? Okay, it's 7:30 is G. Okay, thank you for your answer, Emanuela. Let's see if you're right. You're saying G. Very good, 7:30. Excellent. So let's talk a little bit about this time. So when you have times like this, you usually say the hour and then the minutes. Okay, 7:30. Or you could also say 7:30. Okay, so 7 Let me just write it down so you guys will remember. 7:30 is the same as 7:30, or you could also say 7:30. Some people just say 7:30. Exactly the same. Very good. So the next one, what do you think, Emanuela? It's 12:15. So pronunciation here is important, 15. So 50 is like when you have the first syllable emphasized, 50, and this is 15. I'm just going to write different ways of saying this. So 12:15 could also be 12:15. Okay, 12:15 is the same thing. But which letter is it, Emanuela, or anyone else if you're watching? So one thing to remember is that I get your answers a little bit later. When you write it, there is a little bit of delay until the point when it reaches me. So very good. It is C, 12:15. Okay, so well done. What's next? It's 11, so another complete hour here. Okay. So you just say just the number. Also, you can, if you want to mention exactly when in the morning or the afternoon, you can say it's 11 a.m. 11 a.m., which means it's, you can also say 11 in the evening. 11 in the evening. But you never say 11 a.m. in the, oh, I'm sorry. 11 a.m. is in the morning, not evening. I'm sorry for confusing you. 11 in the morning. But never say 11 in the morning a.m. It's very repetitive. Otherwise, you can also say it's 11 p.m. or it's 11 in the evening. Okay, so now, for example, it's 8:08 in the evening. So now it's a strange time, actually, 8:08, 8:09. So before 10 minutes passed, you say oh. Okay, so now, for example, this is the exact time, right? I'm just copying. So I will say it's 8:09. Okay, so we have answers here. Very good. It's 11. It's B. Excellent, Emanuela. Okay, so I know it's difficult to type and write. It takes a lot of time. So you can just write the alphabet. Okay, Manuela, only the alphabet. It's easier. You can just write it in sequence and I will understand. Okay, in the meantime, as I was saying, 8:09, you say O when it's before 10 minutes passed, okay? Or it could be 8:05, 8:06, okay? Anything less than 10. Let's try the next one. It's 3:45. So 3:45 could also be quarter to 4, okay? 3:45 could be quarter to 4. Okay, so when we have some minutes before the hour, we say 2. Okay, and if it's after the hour, we say past. I hope I'm not confusing you. So for example, we were talking about, for example, C. 15 past. Okay, we don't really say that. We say quarter past 12. Past because it's after 12. But for anything that's less than the hour, we say 2, quarter to 3. So which one is it? And then we have 6:45, 10:15, it's 19. Okay, so I'll give you some time there. Oh, hi there, Walter. Nice to see you here. Thank you for joining. Please feel free to answer the questions. You can just write the alphabets in sequence. So the first three Emanuela has already done. So she says 3:45 is D. And you're absolutely right, Emanuela. Okay, so 3:45 is D. Or you could say quarter to 4. Whatever you find comfortable. Well, I personally think 3:45 is more common for me. So different people might say different things. Okay, next it's 6:45. What is it? So Walter or Manuela? Where can you see it? I'll give you some time there. So while we're waiting, I'll give you some tips about pronunciation, okay? So 40, for example. You emphasize the first syllable, okay? There are two syllables, for and T, but you emphasize the first one, 40. The second syllable is pretty low. But this is very commonly confused with another number, 14, where the second syllable is emphasized more. Okay, 1-4 is 14. The second syllable is stronger than the first. Oh, we have a reply here from Walter. Great job. 6:45, quarter to 7. Yeah, also, that's right. 6:45 is also quarter to 7. And which letter is it? So we are matching the time with the digital numbers on the right. So can you see, Walter, on your right, you have some digital numbers. So it's H. So quarter past 10. Okay, so letter H is 6:45 here. And then it's 10:15 or quarter. So one thing, so this is a good example that Walter has given, quarter to 7, because it's 15 minutes or quarter of an hour before 7. Okay, so quarter past 10 is E. Hold on. Okay, so E is 10:15. It's not quarter past 10, Emanuela. It's quarter. Oh yeah, you are right. I'm sorry. I don't want to confuse you. Very good. Quarter past 10. E. That was really great. Okay, and the last one obviously is it's 9, which is the first number, 8. Okay, any questions here? If you guys have any questions about time, you can ask me. So we have talked about o'clock for a complete hour, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, etc. We have talked about quarter past, when you have 15 minutes after the hour, quarter past. 15 minutes before the hour is quarter to. When you have 30 minutes, you say half past or only half. For example, G is 6:30 or 7:30 or simply 7:30. And when you have a minute, you have before 10 minutes, you say O. So for example, previously I said it's 8:09. Okay. Now let's get to the next exercise. Let's look at this example. What time is it? It's 9 o'clock. Okay, so right, we can just talk about days of the week now. So we have 3 of the days given here, and we have to complete the other days. We have Monday. What's the next day after Monday? Be careful with the pronunciation. The O is pronounced Monday. Okay, the second day, what is it after Monday? Walter, Emanuela, or whoever else is watching. If you know the answer, please type it up. Okay, it takes some time for me to receive the answer, so I'm just going to tell you the next one. The other ones, if you know the other ones, you can write all of them together and send it. If you send one by one, it will be really long, a lot of comments. So in one comment, write all the days of the week. Okay. We have some comments in here. Okay, Tuesday. So, oh, Larissa, hi. Thank you for joining us. It's lovely having you here. So please participate and answer the questions if you know them. So, correct answer is here, Emanuela. Very good. Tuesday. So, Walter, be careful with the spelling, yeah? Oh, good. So, okay, the second day is Tuesday. Larissa as well has correctly said Tuesday. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the pronunciation. This is pronounced Tuesday, okay? Monday and then Tuesday. Very good, Larissa. Wednesday. Wednesday is the next day. Even though you write Wednesday, but you pronounce it Wednesday. The D here, the ED here is silent. Okay, 2 syllable. Wednesday. Wednesday. Now the next day here is can be a little bit confusing with the second day. The day after Wednesday is Thursday. Okay, so you pronounce the TH in English. Yeah, just like Walter said, the TH in English is pronounced th. Okay, so you use your tongue. You touch your tongue with the tip of your teeth and say Thursday. Tuesday is the second day. The fourth day is Thursday. So after Thursday, what is it? So Larissa here has said Thursday and Friday after Thursday. Great. And then you have Saturday and Sunday. Great job, Larissa. So Friday, sometimes I hear students say free day, not correct, Friday. Okay, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those are just like they're written. So I have a question for you guys. What's your favorite day of the week? And why? The favorite, something is favorite when you like it the most. Okay. Oops, sorry. So let me write down the questions for you just to be clear. I know things are a little different now because of the lockdown, but in general, when you're not on lockdown, what's your favorite day of the week in general? Why? And why? Okay, so while I'm waiting for your answers, I'm going to tell you about my favorite day of the week. So my favorite day of the week is Sunday because I can plan anything I want on that day. I usually don't work. I never work on Sunday. And I usually plan to do things that I like to do. For example, I can see my friends, not at the moment, but in general, I can plan to visit my friends or invite some friends at home, or sometimes I spend time reading or doing some things, some hobbies that I like. Okay, so let's read some comments here. Manuela. So you said my favorite day of the week is Friday because in the evening I can see my friends. Great. Nice. Okay. So it takes a little time for me to receive your answer. So I'm just gonna, while I'm waiting for you, I'm gonna move on. Oh, I have another response here. Walter says, my favorite day is Friday because I usually go to Trentino to ride my motorbike. Okay, not to riding, to ride my motorbike. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. So I assume that you live in Milan, maybe. So you live in the city and then you go away in the mountains in the weekend. That's really amazing. Okay, so while I'm waiting for other replies, so let's move on with the exercises here. So what day is it today? Today is, so it's a typical question and answer, okay? So what day is it tomorrow? Tomorrow is, so today, what day is it today? You guys can complete if you want. So today is, wait, I'm forgetting what day it is today. Okay, so it's Monday today. Oh, how could I forget? It's Monday, the first day of the week. And what day is it tomorrow? Tomorrow is Tuesday. Oh, sorry. Okay, so here they just talked about today and tomorrow. Sorry, moving too fast here. So today is like this day and tomorrow is the next day, right? Okay, so Walter has a question. Oh, very good question, Walter. So yes, the name of the day is always in capital letter. Always. So take note, guys. Thank you for the question, Walter. So just like Emanuela said, today is Monday, M with capital letter. Excellent. Okay, and tomorrow is Tuesday, not Thursday, Tuesday. Here they talked about today, this day, and tomorrow, the next day. But the previous day is called yesterday. Okay, great, Emanuela. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Great. So yesterday is the opposite of today. So it's like the previous day. Okay, in Italian would be ieri. So yesterday was Sunday. So we don't say is anymore. Is the present, was the past. So more replies here. Larissa says, my favorite day of Saturday, my favorite day of the week is Saturday because I go to bed at midnight. Okay, so just a few corrections here. So you would say, Larissa, my favorite day of the week is Saturday because I go to bed at midnight. I think it's just a typo. Maybe sometimes because of connection problem, we type really fast, so we make mistakes. So I think some of them are unconscious mistakes. So, but remember that when you talk about time, you say at. Okay, at 9 o'clock, at 2 o'clock. Okay, one word I really like that Larissa has used is midnight. So in case you guys don't know, midnight is 12 a.m. or 12 in the morning. Let me write that down. Okay, and midday is 12 p.m. during the day. Okay. Midday or noon. You can also say noon. 12 p.m. when the sun is out. Okay. So noon, that's where the word afternoon comes from, because afternoon, it becomes afternoon. So, okay, great job, guys. So we're going to move on. And we're going to talk about daily activities that you do. So daily routine. So in your day, what do you do? So we have some pictures here and you have a list of activities. So you have to match the pictures with the list of activities. Okay, so I'll give you some time to do it. Write just the alphabet and the activities. Let me give you some times. Okay, great, Larissa. Tomorrow is Tuesday, exactly. Also, good capitalization of the day. Now you guys are matching. Match the activities with the photos. Okay, so we have A already. Larissa says, get home. So some photos might be a little confusing, yeah? But I think so. I think it's get home. Yeah, well done. Get home. So get can be a synonym for arrive, okay? So get can have so many different meanings in English, but in this case, it means arrive. So usually you use the preposition to with get, like get to the office, get to the cinema, get to work. But with home, you don't say to. With home, home is a special word. It's not a physical place, it's a concept of home, so you don't use the preposition. So Walter here has the answer for B, have breakfast. And I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, so we can see some coffee and some little food here. So have breakfast. Great. So remember that with breakfast, a lot of students make mistake. They say do breakfast or something, but have. Have is very commonly used for food activities. So for example, have breakfast, have dinner, have a snack, or have a drink also. A lot of students say take a drink. This is not correct. So you have a drink with your friends. Okay, so we have answers, more answers here. Oh, Larissa says B. I would say actually have breakfast for B because you can see like small food. Lunch would be, I think it will be bigger plates, more food. So breakfast. So have dinner for C. That's what Walter says. Let's see what it is. I think you're right. Yeah, have dinner. So you have more food. You can see that it's darker. It's not so bright like the morning. So have dinner. Good job. So D, okay, if D looks confusing, the girl is looking inside her wardrobe. So wardrobe is a place where you keep all your clothes, okay? Your clothes are inside. Wardrobe or a closet is a place where you keep your shirt, your clothes, all right? So this girl is opening and looking inside her wardrobe or closet. So what do you think is D? Also, yeah, C is have dinner. Good, Larissa, as well. D, get dressed. Well done, Larissa. So when you you put on your clothes, you get dressed. So get dressed is not only about clothing. It can also mean fixing your hair, doing your makeup. You're getting ready to get dressed. Okay. Great. So go to bed. E. Well done, Larissa, again. So you go to bed. So yeah, D is get dressed. Good job also, Walter. So F, you're saying watch TV. Yeah, I agree with you. So watch TV. Yeah, so the girl in the picture is watching TV and she has a remote control in her hand. So the object that you use for for changing your channels is a remote control. Telecomando, I think, in Italian, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so we have the answer for G, have lunch. Great job, Larissa. They're having lunch, and obviously the last one would be start work. Okay, so any questions you can ask at this point? So notice that have is used for have dinner, have breakfast, have lunch. You can also use it for have a drink, so for food. And in general, when you arrive somewhere, you say get home, get to work, get to the office. And when you put on your clothes, fix yourself, get ready, you get dressed. Okay, so moving on to our next task here. Let's do this exercise. When do you do the following activities? So we have morning, afternoon, evening. So it's a lot to write everything in the comments, but okay. If you know the answers, write morning and all of them together. One by one can be like take a lot of time. So morning, write everything, afternoon, and evening. Okay, so morning, let's begin talking about morning. What do you do? One example is given, get up. So I'll give you a little bit of time. So I'll talk about some things I do personally in the morning that are not in this list. Okay, so in the morning, I brush my teeth. I open my windows to let some fresh air in. Sometimes I like to listen to some relaxing music. So sometimes it depends on my mood. Sometimes I listen to relaxing music. Sometimes I listen to really fast beat music. Okay, so some responses are coming here. So Larissa says, evening, go to bed. Yeah, definitely. Morning, get dressed. Definitely, right. So let's review some of these answers. Go to bed, evening, get dressed, morning. So other things that you do in other parts of the day. So while I'm waiting for your responses, I can also talk about other things I do that in the afternoon. So in the afternoon, I continue working, or I sometimes cook. These days, I cook in the afternoon because nowadays we don't have to do a lot of things. You don't have to get home anymore because you're always home. So these days a little different. Okay, Walter has some more answers. Some more for morning. He says, get dressed, have breakfast, start work. Excellent. That's exactly what I was thinking about. There are more responses. Larissa says, afternoon, have lunch. Definitely. Yeah. You get home in the evening. Perfect. Unless if you have a part-time job, then some people get home in the afternoon as well. Okay, morning, get dressed. That's something you have missed before. Morning, start work. Right. And what do you do? Yeah, I think that's all basically. So I'm going to reveal on the answers here. Have lunch, start work. Yeah, I think you've got all of them. Good job. So we have watch TV in the evening. Yeah, but this is really flexible. A lot of people watch TV in different times, so we don't really know. But usually in the evening. Okay, good job, everybody. Okay, I think we're done with this exercise. We're going to move on to the next. So tell me about what do you... Okay, so now we're going to talk about exact times, right? So let's talk about what the actions or the activities we mentioned before and talk about exactly what time you do it. Example, in the morning, I get up at 7 o'clock. Again, at is used for time. I get up at 7 o'clock. At 7:30, I get dressed in the afternoon. Okay, so please write down some activities from the list, or you can write down anything else, something that's not on the list, and tell us of the time that you do those activities. Okay, so for me, for example, I have dinner at 9 o'clock. Yeah. Normally, I prefer to have it before, but these days, I prefer to have dinner at 9 o'clock. I have dinner at 9 o'clock. Or you can say at 9 a.m. Think of other things. So I go to the supermarket once a week, and I usually go early in the morning. I go to the supermarket at 8 o'clock normally. And then I normally get up at 7 o'clock. But these days in the quarantine, I get up at around 10 o'clock-ish. Yeah. So what about you? I would love to know about your daily routine. So if you don't know the exact time, you can say around that time. So just like I said, I wake up around. Around means not exactly, maybe before, a little bit less, yeah? Or maybe after, around. Get up at around or at about. About and around are the same thing. 10 o'clock. Okay, so if you want to be really informal, we can also use the suffix ish. I wake up at 10-ish. So a lot of people say 10-ish. Oh, so we have a response here from Emanuela. Thank you. So I get up at 8:30 a.m. I have breakfast and do exercise. So not plural, do exercise, singular. Oh, you're very active, Emanuela. Then I go to the supermarket. So you need an article for that. Go to the supermarket and have lunch. At 2 p.m., I start work, and now I do webinar with you. Okay. All right. So now I am doing webinar. Okay. So when you're talking about you're doing something at the moment, you change the tense. You use the present continuous. So I am having a webinar. But at the moment, we're practicing talking about things in general, like every day, what do you do? For example, I get up at 8 a.m. So Emanuela, I imagine that you do it every day. You, in general, you get up at 8:30. Or you have breakfast and do exercise every day in general. But if you're doing it at the moment, you say, I am having breakfast. I am doing exercise. Okay, but that would be in another lesson. Today, we are not going to talk about things you do at the moment. Today, we're keeping it general. So Larissa here has a response. You're saying, in the morning, I get up at 9 a.m. I have breakfast at 9:20. I have lunch at 1 p.m. Excellent, perfect sentence. Walter. Okay, so Walter has a question for me. What time do you have lunch? Okay, so you need an auxiliary verb here. So that's an interesting question. I usually have lunch at around, okay, between 12 to 1 p.m. Okay, so sometime between that time. But now is a special time for me, and I don't have lunch. I don't know if you guys know anything about Ramadan. So it's a special time when you have to fast. So it's like a religious kind of practice. So I don't have lunch these days. So from 24th April was the first day of Ramadan, and until 25th of May, it will continue. So I am fasting. So the verb is I am fasting for Ramadan. Okay, but in general, 12 to 1, I have lunch. Okay, great job. So we are going to move on to our next task here. We'll talk about the third person, right? So in the morning, he or she gets up at 7 o'clock. So I get up at 7 o'clock, but he or she gets up at 7 o'clock. At 7:30, he or she gets dressed in the afternoon. The verb must be in plural for third person singular. So if you know about another person, maybe your best friend, maybe your brother or sister, you can write a sentence about their daily routine. Okay, just one sentence is enough. So for me, for example, all right. So my dad doesn't live in the same country as me, but I think he gets up at 7 a.m. He's an early bird. So my dad gets up at 7 a.m. every day. Okay, so think of another person. Could be a friend, whoever you want. Okay, so if you guys also have any other questions, let me know. So remember to change the verb to plural for third person singular. So a lot of students, like even if they know the rule, while speaking, they forget the S. So it's a very common mistake. So try to practice as much as possible and don't forget the S. Okay, so while I'm waiting, I'm just gonna scan through the next exercises. Okay, so remember to change the verbs to plural, but some verbs are irregular. For example, verb to have, you don't use haves, but you say has. So if I talk about have breakfast, so I have breakfast at 7:30, but my dad, or okay, let's talk about my sister. Okay, my sister has breakfast at 7 p.m. Oh, not p.m., 7 a.m., of course. Okay. Oh, Emanuela, you have a comment here. You're saying my mom gets up at 7:30 or half 7, and my best friend usually gets up at 12 a.m. Oh, wait a minute. 12 a.m. or p.m.? Are you sure? 12 a.m. is midnight. Yeah? So 12 I think you mean 12 p.m. Good. You have changed all the verbs to plural. So I'm going to write this down for you. She gets up at 12 p.m. Wow, that's really late. 12 p.m. Well, I must be honest and say sometimes I also get up at 12 p.m., which I know it's not a very good habit, but I'm also guilty. Because sometimes it's really, if you're not going out for work and you're staying home all the time, so uh, you get really tempted to continue sleeping and sleeping. So, yeah. So when you continue sleeping after the usual hour, you sleep in, okay? So for example, I can say I usually sleep in at the weekends. Okay, so to sleep in means to sleep more than usual in the morning. Okay, Another thing about sleeping or getting up. So a person who gets up early, who usually gets up early, is an early bird. Early bird. And a person who sleeps really late, who goes to bed very late, who wakes up very late, is a night owl. So let me write this down for you guys. Early bird. Oops. Is a person who wakes up early. And a night owl goes to bed very late. So which one are you? Are you an early bird or are you a night owl? I'm curious, let me know. So I am usually an early bird. I love to get up very early and go to bed early, but now because of the quarantine, I have turned into a night owl and I go to bed very late. Okay, what about you? Are you early bird or night owl? Let me know. Now let's talk a little bit about other verbs, and you can tell me just one sentence because we are almost finishing and we're almost running out of time. So one sentence about what you do on the weekend. So there are many things. You can have lunch, have dinner, watch TV, have breakfast, go shopping, go to the cinema, go to a restaurant, meet friends, go for a walk, go to the gym, and go to the center of town. So tell me what you like to do at the weekends. So while I'm waiting for your answers, I'm going to talk about myself. So at the weekend in general, outside the quarantine, usually, I meet my friends. I have a drink with friends sometimes on Saturdays. I don't go to the gym. I know I should. So here is a negative sentence, right? So I don't go to the gym for first person. For second person, it would be she or he doesn't go to the gym. Okay. So Larissa here has a comment. My daughter gets up at 7 a.m. Because she goes to the dog park. She has breakfast at 9 a.m. Okay, so be careful about this a little bit. So my daughter, let me write that down, gets up because you have third person singular, so you have, or verb must be plural, gets up at. Don't forget the preposition. For time, you must always say, oh yeah, so very good. You have corrected yourself at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. because she, okay, let me just write it down. She goes to the dog park and then she has breakfast at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Okay, so be careful about this. So very good, guys. So we're almost finishing up. So we have to leave it at that. And I really appreciate your comments. Very well done for your active participation and your comments. So thank you. So that's all for today. So we have, don't forget that with time, use preposition at. When you use the third person singular, you use s with the verb, or if it's a have, you use has, just like Larissa has just mentioned here. And keep in mind all this vocabulary we talked about daily activities. We have talked about time and the days of the week as well. So yeah, all right. So so I hope you have a great evening. Thank you once again. Bye, everybody.